Good afternoon. Hey Ben, my name is Desiree and I'm going to be your social worker. Before we start, can I get you something to drink?
No, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let you know about some of my expectations that I have. My responsibility to you is to assist you and your family in managing any extra stress and anything that you might be going through lately. In order to do this, I'm going to spend a few minutes with you today. This will allow me enough time to kind of get a glimpse of what's going on in your life. It'll show me maybe what's working for you and maybe what's not working so well. Everything that we discuss today is confidential, but I have to let you know that I am a mandated reporter, and if I suspect any kind of abuse, I am required to report it. Do you have any questions so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Before you leave today, we're going to take all the information from the session and come up with a plan. We'll work together as a team, and I'll give you some recommendations. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay. I've got a few forms for you to sign and complete for me. One of them is an intake form. On this, it just is going to tell me a little bit about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, a little bit of family history, and kind of what you expect from today's session. And the other form that I have for you is a confidentiality agreement, just letting you know that this is all confidential. If you can go ahead and fill out the intake form for me and sign the bottom. Great. And the confidential agreement.
Just sign the bottom.
Yes, please. And today's date. Great. Thank you. All right, now that we have all that out of the way, please tell me what's going on and a little bit about yourself.
My wife and I have been married now for 3 years and have 2 awesome children. Our oldest son, Roland, said he will be 3 in July. Eli, the baby, he just turned a year old last month. They keep us very busy.
Okay.
So my wife and I are both from large families. We know we always want to have a lot of children. She's one of 4, and they're all 18 months apart. And she told me when we started dating, that's what she wanted. Since Roland and I were 19 and a half months apart, we had hopes of having another baby soon. We were very excited and surprised in January to find out that we were expecting again. And the new baby and Eli would have been exactly 18 months apart. We couldn't have planned it any better if we tried. We found out our due date and told our families, announced it to everybody we're expecting, and everyone was excited. Unfortunately, at 12 weeks, we lost the baby.
I'm very sorry to hear that. How have you and your wife been coping since the loss?
Things have been okay. I wasn't able to be with my wife at the doctor when she found out that we had lost the baby. Since I drive a big truck for a living, I actually wasn't able to get home with her until hours later.
How did that make you feel being away from your wife and being away from each other during that time?
It was pretty rough. I actually had to stop and get off the side of the road for a little while and just get my thoughts back and everything, and to finish my day so I could get home to see her.
Was your wife alone the entire time, or was she able to be with friends and family?
My mom helps watch Roland and Eli a few days a week, and I had just left work when Desiree started bleeding. My mom was able to be at the house when she got home. My wife's family lives about 2 hours away, so they weren't able to be here.
Okay. Has there been any guilt placed on you because you weren't able to be with your wife during that time?
No, I wouldn't say so. She understands where I have to be at and what I have to do.
What about, have you guys felt any guilt or maybe resentment towards other family members for not being able to be there during that time and being supportive?
There's some of it, I guess it can be, because I I guess her family, with them being so far away, it's kind of hard to be here. But at the same time, it's something that important. I feel like they should have been here.
Okay. How has, or maybe it hasn't, but how did the miscarriage affect your work? I know you said you had to pull over working. What about your wife's work? Did she have to miss any work? Has it affected your income or anything like that?
My wife, she missed one day of work after the miscarriage. She probably needed to miss more towards the end of the week, but she wanted to be around other people and stay busy.
Okay. Did it help her to be around others?
Yeah, yes and no. I think it helped her mentally by giving her things to focus on, and physically she was in a lot of pain and discomfort. And we didn't know until later in the week that she should have rested more than and that moving around like she was actually caused more pain.
Did she feel, or you feel, a lot of support from her doctors?
No, not really, not like we wanted to be.
Okay. Are you aware that there's government programs and assistance available to women and families when they're pregnant and expecting?
I'm not sure. Like what are you talking about?
Well, there's WIC that's available, and that stands for Women and Infant Children. It's actually a federally based program that helps provide healthy food for families. It is income based, and there's also Pregnancy Medicaid. It's also known as Right from the Start Medicaid that helps pregnant women with the cost of being pregnant in doctor's office and appointments and so forth. Are you familiar with any of that?
Yeah, we qualified for the pregnancy Medicaid and WIC.
Okay, so that's good. Usually women can stay on WIC for about 6 months after having a baby. Since your wife was 12 weeks along, she would be eligible to stay on the WIC for 6 more months. And she qualifies for that assistance. Before you leave today, I can go ahead and give you information so you can contact your local office if that's something you guys are interested in. The Right from the Start Medicaid would just depend on the income, whether or not she would stay on it with no longer being pregnant. After having a baby, you can stay on it. I'm not familiar with if they'll allow her, since she lost the baby, how that will work. So we'll need to contact them. Have you noticed any kind of strange behaviors in your wife recently?
Nothing strange really, but she's had a very difficult time just being around certain people lately.
Can you elaborate on that a little?
I think she's just having a tough time with her brother and his wife had a due date that were 2 days apart, and we was all excited to have babies that close together in age and growing families, and it just hurts to see them, that they're still going along with it, and we should be right there with them.
Have they been understanding, or how have they kind of reacted?
They they do understand, but they've kind of they just really don't talk about it. They just kind of move around and just kind of go on with their pregnancy and how they're doing.
Okay. What about the relations between you and your wife since the miscarriage? Has that changed or been the same? I mean, how has that all been?
It's been the same. She's just she's need a little more attention and understanding, and just most women need the same thing, but that's really on the same thing. It's nothing much other has changed other than her still being upset a lot and having a constant reminder with the family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that all makes a lot of sense. I mean, your wife went through a lot of physical changes, hormones in a quick, short period of time that her body really wasn't expecting to change yet. So that's just, completely normal. Is there anything else that you'd like to add in today's report, maybe that we didn't cover or that we haven't discussed?
There's I'd like to get some more resources about how to deal with this kind of grief and possibly medical recommendations for the future.
Okay. Well, I can help get those together. I know that there's a lot of good websites and links that I can give you about grief and loss and how to deal with it. So I'll put those together for you. And I look forward to seeing you in a week, and I can have all that stuff together for you. In the meantime, I would encourage you, for you and your wife to talk, and for to talk with the families, whether it's, encouraging her to talk with her family or your family, or, you encouraging her family, or however. I would encourage, everybody to talk and have kind of open communication about how everybody's feeling. And in the meantime, if you need me, please feel free to call me or email me, and I'll be happy to help. But I look forward to seeing you next week. Okay? Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.